G'day folks, it's Danny, and as you probably already know, I recently produced quite a comprehensive documentary on all of the guitarists that have played on Tom's albums. And ever since, I keep getting all this feedback, which I love. Why didn't you talk about this song? Why didn't you break down that song? Why did you skip this? So here I am, trying to attend to another glaring omission. This time, Marc Ribot's perfect solo on Way Down in the Hole. He's just so good, isn't he? Incredible. Now, this is going to be super quick because it's only a short solo. It's only like 16 bars. It's about 125 beats per minute. It's in B minor and it's just a 1-4-5. It's like a minor blues, a 16-bar blues. And most of what Marc plays is rooted firmly in the B minor pentatonic scale. So a lot of it's pretty standard. But what I want to talk about are a couple of things. Marc's phrasing. He really feels the phrasing. He doesn't try and play nice, neat little runs of triplets and 16th notes and that sort of thing. He plays phrases that move across the beat, and they're really hard to transcribe, really hard to write out. And the other thing is his pitch, his bends. They're rarely a nice, in-tune, standard guitar bend that we all try and practice to achieve. Marc plays his bends more like human speech. It might go too far or it might not go up far enough. And it's those characteristics that really make his playing his playing. So I want to point out a couple of things in this particular solo where he does that. So after the first few intro phrases, which definitely do move across the beat, and there's lots of open strings ringing and lots of raking across strings just to play a single note, like that sort of thing. But then he plays this run where he goes, that starts to sound really weird because even though he's doing a standard blues bend, bending the 9th fret there on the G string, as he repeats that, he's not allowing it to come all the way back down to the natural E note. So it's a bit sharp each time. It's like, which sounds really off kilter and Marc Ribot. So that's the first one. Then he goes up to this sensational bend. I'm doing it up at the 15th fret on the B string because it's a really big bend and I find it a bit too hard to do on the E string. So Marc probably does it on the E string, I don't know. But what he does, it's like a 2-stage bend. He plays the 15th fret and bends it up a half step and then bends it all the way up to sound like the 19th fret. So it's a half step bend followed by a 1.5 steps. So he ends up bending 2 full steps. Another thing that I think is going on here, and look, this is really pushing the friendship. It's really just a feeling that I get. Have you ever played a note with pick and fingers on the same string? So I'm using my pick and at the same moment I'm using my middle finger. It sounds like he's playing it like that. It's really fun to do. I sometimes just do that to try and slow myself down instead of trying to play a fast run, because you can't play fast like that, and just really think about the notes and get some feeling out of it. And it sounds to me like that's what he's doing in that part. I could be wrong. It's a wild stab in the dark, but it sounds like it to me. So after that section, we come to the final crazy passage where Marc does a series of bends. We start off in the blues scale again, in the pentatonic minor, 7th fret on the G string, then 10th fret on the B string, then 7th fret on the A string, but then 15th fret on the E string. That note, G note, is new to the song. That hasn't appeared it's not in the B minor pentatonic scale, and he hasn't played it thus far. So that sounds really odd, jumping out all of a sudden. And then he plays this weird passage that's like 3, 4, 1. That weird run of notes at the end sounds so random because there's some big intervallic leaps going on. He's not just playing from one note to the next, he's jumping around a lot. And there are some more notes that probably shouldn't be in the song. I think what he's playing, he starts on the open B string, goes to the D note, the 7th fret on the G string, 9th fret on the B string. So there's a G sharp now. We had a G natural before, now he's introduced a G sharp. Then he goes back to the B. So that's a big jump from the 9th fret to the open string. Then he goes to a B octave. So it's an even bigger jump. Then he goes down to a open G, even bigger leap again, up to a D note. So that's, I think he's playing it on the 12th fret of the D string. And then the last note, it's going from a D right up to a C natural. And now that C natural, that's the wrongest note you can play in a standard B minor blues song. And the way Marc plays the note, it's like it disappears. It's like it's kind of muted, and he pulls his finger off it really quickly. And I can't help but wonder if he's playing that incredible out sounding stuff and then just goes, shit, was that too out? Did I just go too far? Because I know the feeling when I play a wrong note that I didn't intend, and I might pull my finger off it really quickly or get away from it really, really quickly. And it sounds to me like that's what Marc did. But, I mean, what do I know? The man's an absolute genius. He probably fully intended it, and a fool such as I cannot grasp his art. But I love it. We all love it. I mean, it's definitely been a very requested guitar solo for me to break down. So that's what's going on there. That's why that last bit sounds so insane, because he's bringing in notes that weren't there previously, that challenge our ear, and he's leaping all about. His leaps between notes are just getting wider and wider, so it sounds like it's scattered. Wonderful. Go and have some fun with that one. Don't forget to subscribe. Most of you guys watching don't subscribe to my channel. It'd help me out. And if you'd like lessons and transcriptions to anything, hit me up on my Patreon.